Everybody saying, we want the funk. We gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Up jumps the middle finger, make my Jaeger just.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sports Buzz, a Fan-atical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this August 17th. Moving quickly right through the month of August. School days upon us almost. Jenna, our production assistant extraordinaire, who's in here tonight, won't be happy to hear that. How many more weeks until school? 1, 2? A couple weeks. It's got to be coming up pretty quick, but we're still here and we're still having a good time. We're going to try to enjoy ourselves for 30 minutes. We are live, of course, so 203-792-4101 is the number. We are trying to provide you, like we usually do, with 30 minutes of the fastest TV talk sports in all of TV talk sports land, and also maybe a reprieve or a escape from the horrors of America and also around the world, as we saw today in Barcelona. So if you want to just, sit back for 30 minutes and maybe, clear your head a little bit, get away from the Ku Klux Klan marching through the streets of America, and get away from the debates of, is this about a statue or is this about hatred? We'll be here and we'll do our thing for 30 minutes. I personally don't think it's about a statue. I think it's more about hatred. I think that's a nice little excuse they have. But, the KKK, like we said, after the day of the election, feels very comfortable being out of the shadows on the streets of America again. And, it's been about 25 years since that happened. I wonder what's different about the United States of America right now than it has been. Maybe you look to who is in the White House as the president, as the lone difference that would allow such thing to go on in this country, and then feel supported and enabled to do such things. But we will try to get away from that. My right-hand man, Mr. Bob Broad Jr., is in the director chair tonight, so he's not out here with me talking about such things, so I'll stay clear, or else I'll just go on for 30 minutes. And there he is in JM Collectibles at the ribbon cutting ceremony the other week with the Bethel Chamber of Commerce. Finally made it down on a nice day. The inside of the store looks good. Bob looks good. Everything looks good there. So get on over to Stony Hill. Check them out in Bethel. JM Collectibles, open regularly throughout the week, and you can see what they have, see if you can find something that you are looking to collect in that great shot. That was part of the News Times interview and article that they did the other week, so that was very nice. His show, Spotlight On, Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. Loaded his most recent show, Hot Rods, that show that took place in Ridgefield the other week. Not sure what he's got coming out this week. Our usual director, not here, sleeping through the show apparently. Expose Cinema, Friday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 1 is Mike Toohey's show. As I mentioned, 203-792-4101. We'll see if maybe Strange Man goes for the trifecta, tries to steal the show for a third straight week. Get me off the topic of hatred in America and off the topic of terrorist attacks in Barcelona. If you've paid attention to the show, that I was just there a month and a half ago, and much to my sadness and surprise today, I see that a terrorist attack took place right there, right where I was standing, as a matter of fact, pretty much, when I took this photo just a month and a half ago at one of the major Ramblas, which is kind of like a main avenue thoroughfare. And as you can see, a lot of people, and this was right at the beginning of the tourist season picking up. It was probably even more crowded there today. When this van drove right through the crowd and killed, last number I heard was 13. The reports of injured are varying, 35, 50, over 100. Not sure exactly how many. I think the situation as we speak right now is under control, although the area might still be in lockdown. It's still kind of a developing situation. There's a 6-hour time difference, so it's about midnight there now. Hopefully they have it all under control, but just senseless violence that took place there today in just a beautiful part of the city. I mean, the whole city is great, but that Gothic quarter, it's just such a great neighborhood. Pedestrians walking all about, but there is traffic as well and access for cars to drive through, and a van did what a car did here in the United States the other day at that KKK rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Drove into the crowd, killing people. Why? I have no idea. Why would you do such a thing? It was kind of the same feeling I had last year, a year before perhaps, when the terrorist attack took place with a van driving through a crowd in Nice. Just a beautiful place where tourists are just minding their own business, being happy and happy to be alive, being friendly to one another, and somebody just drives through and kills people senselessly. Just doesn't really make much sense, but that's what is going on in the world these days. No one is immune, apparently. You could be in a beautiful place. You could be in a small town in Virginia when all of a sudden the KKK is marching, and you got to wonder why this is happening and stand up against them and then get run down by a vehicle. Just not good things going on around the world. And we'll shift gears, though, and I'll change the topic off of the Barcelona thing to soccer real quick. Neymar, that was big news in the soccer world, leaving Barcelona, and then Real Madrid beating Barcelona for the Spanish Cup. I forget the exact name of that. That took place in the last couple of days. So Barcelona sports fans were upset about that. Now they are upset about something else. And then here we see 2 nights ago in the Open Cup semifinal, the New York Red Bulls at Cincinnati FC, down 2-0 late, about 75 minutes into that game, and they rallied for 3 goals to win it in regulation time, 3-2, knocking Cincinnati FC out. A couple big sporting events going on in Cincinnati this week, tennis tournaments going on, and this big soccer event. Shocking result for the Cincinnati fans. And here we see some New York Red Bulls versus NYC FC action, which we know takes place at Yankee Stadium. So we're getting kind of close to the end of the MLS season. The Red Bulls and the NYC FC are in playoff contention. My Revolution are still on the outside looking in. They did win 2 out of their last 3, trying to get themselves in position. I think they're pulled within about 5 points or so of that final playoff spot. So the Revolution trying desperately to make a late run, but it looks like NYCFC and the Red Bulls will be in. But that year-long kind of tournament that takes place outside of the MLS, the Open Cup, the Red Bulls have made it to the final. So they're looking to win that thing. So good for them, knocking off Cincy FC the other night in Cincinnati. Kind of crazy. And then locally speaking, we've been talking about the Westerners a lot lately. Former manager Jamie Shevchik, who was at the helm for the Westerners for 7 years, led them basically to their most successful period of time. His last couple of years were not so good, but he had them 7 outs away from their first ever NECBL championship. He also made it back, I think, to a second NECBL final. Is that correct, Bob? Maybe he can yell that to me. Did they make it to a second final where they got swept, I think? But I know they made it to the 1, and they made it to the final game, and they lost after having the lead. But he has finally won his summer collegiate league championship, and he did it in Brewster, Cape Cod for the Brewster Whitecaps. Ending a drought for that Cape Cod League team, 20 years, I believe, was that one. So hats off to Jamie, and he called some of the Danbury Westerners front office guys, I think Paul Schaefer, and he met him over at Pippa's on his way back from Cape Cod to his home in Pennsylvania, stopped here to celebrate and give his thanks. He always gives credit to Danbury and the Westerners and that organization for giving him the chance he had. He said he never would have had a chance to coach in the Cape Cod League if it wasn't for his time in Danbury. So he was very thankful, and he met some of the guys down at Pippa's on his way back yesterday, I believe, to celebrate that and just thank them for giving him that shot. So we will congratulate him here. Another thing we'll get to before we get to MLB, the PGA Championship took place this past weekend, and we have another first-timer getting it done. Justin Thomas gets it done, 24-year-old, part of this kind of brat pack group of young golfers who are all buddies, Spieth and Fowler and Koepka. Fowler's now the one who hasn't won. Koepka and Spieth we know have, and now Justin Thomas gets it done. He shot a 59, round of 59 earlier in this year and had won 4 times on the tour this year. And now he has a 5th win on tour this year, and it came at the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, and that earned him the Wanamaker Trophy. So good job by Justin Thomas. And really the shot of the day, or the moment of the day on Sunday, was on the 10th hole when he was lining up a birdie putt and it hung on the cup. Did not look like it was going in, but I actually did think it was going in, and he kind of walked around, turned his back, did the smart thing, did not walk to the cup and pick it up. He let it sit there, and he kind of maybe thought maybe it would drop as well. 10 seconds, 12 seconds goes by, and it sure enough did drop in the cup as it hung on the lip for all that time and finally went in. And from that point on, he turned the tables. Hideki Matsuyama was in the lead at that point, and we thought maybe he would get his first, but he's kind of stumbled a little bit. And Thomas made the run down the back 9, and it was an amazing run for him. So he gets it done. He wins it, his first major ever, and that's a great job by him. As the door is open, no, our man Mike McFadden gets out of traffic and joins us, heading in, beating the heat, beating traffic, and the whole bit. So I'll have somebody here to talk to as we get towards the baseball talk in a moment. Maybe he'll explain to me if the Mets are going to get swept or not. Can they get one game, maybe? But anyways, Justin Thomas joins what had been a run of 7 in a row first-timers before Spieth won the British Open recently. So 8 out of the last 7 goes to first-timers in the majors. So hats off to him. NFL preseason continues this weekend. And really all I have to say is there's a bunch of games being played, and that will be about that. The Patriots are at the Texans. The Jets are at Detroit on Saturday. The G-men are at Cleveland on Monday. I don't know. If I was playing preseason football, if I'd be happy about playing a Monday night game. It seems a little crazy to me that they even have that stuff. There's a game tonight, I suppose. A couple games tomorrow, a bunch of games Saturday, and then the one giant game on Monday as preseason continues. And that will be that. You know, a bunch of games took place last week. Patriots didn't look all that great against the Jaguars. I don't really know what happened in the Giants and the Jets games. Are you all locked and loaded there, McFadden? Are we in?
I believe so.
All right. It sounds like he's in. Well, hopefully he is. You have any, before we shift gears to baseball, any thoughts on preseason football? I don't really particularly care that much about it.
It's going to be a long season for the Jets.
A long season for the Jets. Of course, they're going to say that they're going to surprise people, creep up on them, the whole bit, but it's going to be tough for them to do that, I think.
Yeah, they're going to surprise people, all right.
With how bad
and up to offense, they're going to surprise people.
Turning the back football for 20, 30, 40 years.
I think that's a possibility, actually.
Will they go winless?
I think they'll win some games. I'm
I've got to
thinking
find something somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I say around maybe 3 to 4.
All right. More importantly, are the Mets going to win a game in this 4-game little back and forth Citi Field Yankee Stadium series with the Yankees?
Yes, I've heard Bob chimed in with a doubtful, and I kind of agree with that.
Can they get one game? I mean, the games have actually been pretty close.
Oh yeah.
Right in it.
Yeah.
With their, I mean, they're trading off guys left and right. Who's left for them to trade?
Cabrera, Granderson.
You think he's going to move?
I think it's a possibility they could move both.
He would be the one I would think more. So
yeah.
Then.
And I think they'll keep Reyes. I think they'll keep.
I don't know why. What's the young guys looking like so far? They called a few of them up.
Well, Rosario's a tremendous fielder. He needs more play discipline. With Smith has also shown that he's a pretty good fielder too. His bat leaves a little more to be desired. They both need to work a lot in the offseason on their batting discipline.
Well, hopefully they'll get some good at-bats here. I guess I should ask the other burning question. Is Tim Tebow going to get called up?
Oh, don't say that.
Come on, he's playing well since he moved from whatever division to the other division.
Oh, man, no.
They need to sell tickets.
We don't need Tim Tebow.
I think they're going to call him up, Mike.
Are you serious?
I do think they're going to call him up.
Oh, well, really? Oh, you got to be kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, no.
I thought it was no chance in heck that he would get called up, but he did not earn his call up to, what is he, in Double-A now?
Yep.
But they did move him to Double-A, and he started to play well, which a lot of professional players say they're not surprised by, because when you're in the really low leagues, the pitching is so bad, it's hard to get into any rhythm because they're so wild. There's the ball's flying over your head, behind you, and it's hard to figure anything out. When you start to see more consistent pitching, you can actually play better.
For what purpose would that serve?
Sell tickets. I mean, September is going to be pretty long and dreary for Mets.
Yeah, but are you going to spend the money? I mean, yes, you want to sell tickets, but have they shown that they will spend the money to get the guys that they need? Because let's look at the bullpen.
I mean, for next year, they're going to hope that they just get the pitching staff healthy, and they can turn it right around.
They need to really
and
redo
have the
that
year that they were supposed to have this year, next year. Which is why I always get concerned about them trading guys off when you have one bad year. I mean, they were in the playoffs last year. They were in the World Series 2 years. This team was supposed to be a contender. They got derailed by injury. So why sell off a bunch of your regular position players when the organization is thinking, if we get our pitching staff healthy, we'll be back in it next year.
I agree with you. I would have kept Duda.
Duda was kind of a surprising trade to me. I didn't think that was necessarily a smart thing to do. And Tampa has struggled since that trade, so Tampa, they didn't need to do that because they're not going anywhere. They're kind of on, they're below 500 now, so I don't think they're going to make the wild card.
All right, thanks, Bob.
All right, let's get to the Red Sox. Winners of 12 out of the last 14. They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees this past weekend. If it wasn't for a 315-foot home run on that short porch and right, maybe it would have been a sweep. I'm sure Yankee fans might say, well, we stole one from you in the 9th inning, or 8th inning, I guess, and you stole one from us on Sunday. The only difference is Devers was a legitimate blast. That home run was unbelievable. I still can't get over that home run against Chapman. This rookie, speaking of rookie call-ups, he's got the 9th inning game-tying home run against Chapman in Yankee Stadium on the Sunday night game. He started a triple play the other night. After that 9th inning game, he came back in that rain-out makeup against Cleveland and hit 2 home runs in that game. He's got a 4-hit game already under his belt. This kid looks pretty good. Very impressive. And you got Benintendi. He's the hottest hitter in baseball right now since they benched him about 3 weeks ago for 2 days, gave him a little bit of a rest, let him clear his head. He's been batting .500 since he's been back. He had the 3-run home run game against the Yankees on Saturday. First time in 79 years anybody did that, and it was Jimmy Fox who did it actually for the Red Sox. So they got a couple of these young guys, rookies, who are really stepping up. But that, I still just can't. Did you see that home run against Chapman?
Yes, I did.
That was impressive. Kind of goes left center, deep shot. 103 miles, because Chapman came in throwing gas that night. He was throwing 103 miles an hour, and it looked like after they had taken the lead in the 8th that they were going to win it, and Devers just goes monster shot, and then they win in the 10th on Benintendi's hit. So the other rookie got it done to take those 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. As I mentioned, winners of 12 out of the last 14. They had won 8 straight before blowing that game on Friday night. Maybe you can tell me why I think this Addison Reed trade is going to work out down the stretch for the Red Sox, because all I know is the first time they put him in was against the Indians. He gave up a home run. And then his first experience in Yankee Stadium, about a week later, he comes in, he gives up the home run, albeit 315-footer. But that was a 2-run home run. They still had a 3-2 lead. He could then shut them down, but instead he walks and gives up hits, and they end up losing that game because of that. Can you tell me something about Addison Reed I don't know? I mean, he was a Met.
He was pretty. I mean, he was pretty good for the Mets. I think some of that it may be nerves, you know. But
Maybe.
I think he'll be better than what he's shown. I mean,
I looked at his numbers. His strikeout to walks is pretty much the only good number I saw. I mean, his opponent batting average is 250, which isn't, you know, terrible. But for a reliever, I don't think that's that great.
Right.
You know, and he allowed base runners in like 55 out of 56 innings. He had like 56 strikeouts in those 55 innings and only about 6 walks. But he's walked guys and given up the home run since joining the Red Sox. The thing that I don't understand is the Red Sox, and they made a big deal out of this on TV, in these TV games against the Yankees this weekend, talking about how the Red Sox bullpen is basically top 4 in all major categories and top 1 in a bunch of them. So their bullpen has been a strength. I've been saying that all year. When I listen to the Yankee broadcasters, I always scratch my head because I don't think they pay attention to anything, because they always talk about, oh, the Red Sox need to improve their bullpen. I'm like, their bullpen has been their strength this year. Their offense has been struggling at times. They don't hit home runs. Starting pitching has had injuries with Price and Rodriguez. You know, don't forget Stephen Wright went down early. You know, so the bullpen has been the mainstay. So why, when you make a deal for this guy, Addison Reed, does he automatically have to be the guy who jumps to the automatic 8th inning setup position when you've had such strength in the bullpen all year anyways? Can't you just kind of move him in and have him be another guy? Why does he automatically have to shake up? You know, Farrell just shakes up the bullpen and says, no, he's the new 8th inning setup guy, plain and simple. And then he obviously shows that he hasn't been pitching in these big time situations. His first time against Cleveland, home run. First time in Yankee Stadium, home run. So that's my big question about why do you automatically bring a guy in who is not an automatic? If you look at his numbers and you look at him, you say, okay, he's another good arm. Let's mix him in. Not an automatic where he's like, this guy's lights out. Of course we're going to put him in as a setup guy. So those are the things that I, on the outside, as a mere fan who knows nothing about the game, I've only been watching it for many years, but these guys are much smarter than me, right, Mike? They get paid for this stuff.
Yes, they do.
Smarter, right? So they must know something we don't, correct? I would think. Who knows? But anyways, Red Sox did take 2 out of 3. They got a chance again this weekend. You know, I talked about it last week, how they have to do better against the American League East. They took that 2 games against Tampa Bay before the Yankees series. They're still, 5-7, I believe, against the Yankees on the year, creeping up, trying to get a winning record against them. If they could take, you know, the way things have gone against the Yankees this year, I'll have to settle for 2 out of 3. I would love to see them just put the Yankees away and sweep them, but, you know, that has not been the way it's gone. We'll see how it goes this weekend in Fenway. A huge rally last night. Things are going great for the Red Sox as they rally for 3 runs against the Cardinals, down 4-2 in the 9th inning. Bogarts, who's been struggling lately, hits a solo shot to get it started, and then that kind of ignited them, and they got guys on base, and Mookie Betts, Mookie gets it done with a drive down into the left field corner, and Jackie Bradley Jr. scores from first place on a close play at the plate. Great dive to get around the tag of the Cardinals catcher there, who dropped the ball. I think he might have actually been out if he had held on to the ball. It was a close play, no doubt. But they get the walk-off win. So they've had a bunch of walk-offs lately. They've had the record in extra innings, I should have this in front of me, but I believe it's something like 12-2, 12-3. Wow. Incredible record in extra innings this year. They've been winning games late. They usually win games when they have a lead after the 7th inning. So some good things starting to happen. High water mark for them, 69-51. Gaining ground on Houston, who's been the clear runaway in the American League, but with Houston's injuries at 74-46, the Red Sox actually possibly gaining ground on a possible number one seed, home field advantage. But more importantly, they need to hold up the Yankees, 4.5 up on them. Maybe, I have faith. The Met fans here do not. Met fans think they're going to get swept tonight. I think the Mets get one, and it'll be a 5-game lead tomorrow heading into Fenway. We'll see. Yankees are 3 up on the wild card over the Anaheim Angels. Every week it's different. We come in here. This week it's the Angels in that second spot at 62 and 59. Kansas City, half game out. Twins 1 out. Seattle 1.5 out. Texas 2 out. Tampa Bay and the Orioles also with Texas below 500 at 2.5 and 3 out, but they're in striking distance. This is my argument against that second wild card. Teams below 500 are in it. Is that good for baseball? What do you think?
Well, I mean, that's...
Keeps more teams interested, more towns in baseball, selling tickets, the whole bit down the stretch, but it's not good baseball, if you ask me. If teams under 500 are getting a chance to stay in the race, it's just adding bad teams to the playoff.
Exactly, I agree.
So, I don't know. But anyways, Dodgers, 51 games over. The last time we saw a team this high was in 2004. St. Louis Cardinals, the team that got swept by the Red Sox when they reversed the curse. And the Brooklyn Dodgers were 50-plus over 500 in the regular season in the 50s. I don't believe it was the team that won the World Series. I think the team the year after was the great team that won. 85 and 34. Unreal record. Nationals 71 and 47. Bryce Harper with that scary injured knee, but he's not seriously hurt, so he should not be out too long.
Okay.
Mets are 4th place, 53 and 65. Cubs holding on, 63 and 56. Brewers 1.5 out. Cardinals 2.5 out. They had won 8 in a row before coming in and dropping these 2 games to the Red Sox. Wild card, it's still the Rockies on top, +1 over the Diamondbacks, 67 and 53 and 66 and 54. Diamondbacks a 4-game lead over the Brewers. That is the baseball scene, the baseball picture. You got anything you want to add, Mike, before we get out of here?
I hope the Mets get ready for a very interesting offseason.
Tim Tebow, you don't want to see him?
No. Mike Moustakas. I'll leave you.
Okay, Mike Moustakas would be a good player to bring in. All right, I think we are out of time.